All right. Chainlink has been on fire lately, announcing a number of huge news items, but this latest one kind of takes the cake and probably is the biggest news in most of crypto right now. Chainlink just announced it has a partnership with the US government to bring key metrics on chain, and it's bringing a bunch of its partners with it. So let's dive into this news because I think this is fascinating. We're excited to work with the U.S. Department of Commerce to bring key government economic data onto Arbitrum, AVAX, Base, Botanics Labs, Ethereum, Linnea Build, Mantle, Optimism, Sonic Labs, and ZK Sync. Chainlink is the only Oracle platform bringing all 6 of these official government macroeconomic data points on chain. So we're talking real GDP level, real GDP percentage change, PCE price index, PCE index percentage change, same with those two, and same with real final sales to private domestic purchasers. You got the level and the percentage change annual rate. And this is from Sergey Nazarov. He's the co-founder of Chainlink. He said, "I'm very excited." Can we zoom this in? "I'm very excited to see Secretary Howard Lutnick and the U.S. Department of Commerce accelerate blockchain adoption by bringing the Bureau of Economic Analysis macroeconomic data on-chain through the Chainlink standard. This decision to use blockchains for data transparency from the U.S. government is clear proof of its commitment to being the global leader in blockchain technology adoption. Bringing this high-quality government data to blockchains through Chainlink catalyzes a wave of new on-chain financial instruments, all built on this new foundation of cryptographic truth. I look forward to continuing to work with Secretary Lutnick and the U.S. Department of Commerce to help make the United States the crypto capital of the world." So I love this, by the way. I think this is a great use case for an Oracle chain like Chainlink. I like that it's bringing it to these other chains that it partners with. I don't know how that works exactly. This is one of the reasons why I wish Algorand had signed up for Chainlink, because I think this would be a really nice look for Algorand right about now. But this is really good news, not only for Chainlink, but for Arbitrum, AVAX, Base, Ethereum, and Mantle, and all these other ones, Optimism, ZK Sync, all those ones. What's interesting is I don't know it had a huge impact on the price. No, I want to put this in context because 23.53 is definitely over my average buy of like 15, which I thought was high when I bought it. Definitely didn't get in on the ground floor on Chainlink. I did, and then I sold, and then I came back. But this is still very good. You know, we're looking at 107% up on the year. That is nothing to complain about too much. But it's definitely fallen on the week, just like everything else. So the news really couldn't save it, and I think that's where we're at. I think this little bump might be due to the news, because I think that was last night that it came out. But generally speaking, we're not seeing news items able to move the price nearly as much in the past. And I think a lot of that, I'm seeing a lot of people say that, and I think there's probably some truth to it, that there's not as much retail as there hasn't been in the past, that we're starting to see more institutional investors and less retail. And they're just not going to get as excited about some of these new items. And if they do, they're going to wait for a pump and they're going to snipe it. So definitely something to consider, but this is a really good long-term thing. So you have to think a little more long-term than just like short-term price action. I think with Chainlink, embedding itself with the government is a great use for them, especially just tracking, just tracking some of these data, some of these macroeconomic metrics, I think is great. And by the way, we also talked earlier about the Chainlink Reserve. Oops, that's not the Chainlink Reserve. I thought this is actually really interesting though. Metrics. Okay, we talked about the metrics. Bringing key U.S. government data on chain unlocks innovative use cases for blockchain markets, including automated trading strategies, increased composability of tokenized assets, issuance of new types of digital assets, real-time prediction markets for crowdsourced intelligence. By the way, already got that on Algorand. Just going to point that out. Actually, I don't know why that leads to that exactly, but transparent dashboards powered by immutable data, which is very important. That's kind of an issue right now. Is there's some concerns about how the data is handled. Anyway, and DeFi protocol risk management based on macroeconomic factors. These data sets are updated monthly or quarterly as applicable and are initially being made available across 10 blockchain ecosystems, starting with Arbitrum, Avalanche, Base, Botanix, Ethereum, Linea, Mantle, Optimism, Sonic, and ZK Sync, which we already talked about. Support for additional blockchain networks can be incorporated over time based on user demand. So there's still time for, say, HBAR or Algorand to get involved in this. I think that would be a good thing. This development builds upon Chainlink's accelerated work with the U.S. government in 2025, including meeting with several key officials and regulators to make policy recommendations that are advancing the growth of the blockchain industry. Here's all the if you're a developer, you want to get involved in this. Oh, look, Folks Finance in on the comments, as well as King Solomon, friend of the channel. I'd really like to. I should get him on sometime. I keep saying that, but I'm such a. Getting people guests on is kind of a pain, and especially doing it through OBS. And I really hate doing it through Restream's portal. So we'll see. But anyway, developers can begin integrating these feeds today into their on-chain applications by following Chainlink's official documentation. And so, they have all the U.S. Department of Commerce and all their data here. Here's the Chainlink system and then any blockchain. So Algorand can definitely get a part of this. HBAR can get a part of this. Maybe even XRP. I don't know. This is absolutely insane. Chainlink is now not only adopted by the largest DeFi protocols and TradFi institutions, but also the largest government in the world as well. That's really funny. Days since Chainlink made an announcement before, more important than anything in the history of your favorite project. I gotta say, the news has been really great on Chainlink. There's been plenty to report. Let's just say that. I think I had something on there. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, so we talked a little bit about the Chainlink Reserve, and I think this is a great idea. First off, the great idea is the fact that Chainlink offers on-chain and off-chain services, and I think that's a big deal. I think that matters because we're seeing a lot of companies don't necessarily want to be on chain. They want the benefits of the blockchain, but they don't necessarily want to be public about it. And this makes a big difference, I think, because they're able to serve those customers who don't want that. We saw that with TravelX on Algorand. The major airlines, they just didn't want anything to do with the public blockchain. I would like to check them out recently and see how they're doing, because they kind of went in a different direction. I don't know what they're offering. Are they offering NFTs still? I'd be really curious to see how their offerings have changed. Anyway, the Chainlink Reserve works because the idea is to take the revenue that they get off chain and bring it on chain by buying Link to hold in reserve. I think that's a great idea. So anyway, as of August 28th, the Chainlink reserve holds a total of 193,076 link. And the day they posted this was yesterday. This was August 28th. On Thursday, they accumulated 42,298.22 link just yesterday, making the total almost 200,000 link. I could probably do the math really quick, but hold on. Let's just do, it was about $23. I know this is really exciting watching me do math. Yeah, that's about 4.8 million, unless my math is wrong, which, you know, is always a possibility, especially when I do it live. But I think that's a really great look for Chainlink. I think this is a good idea, and I like what they're doing here. So big shout out to Chainlink. You can read more if you want to check out their X account. You can read more about the Chainlink reserve. We talked about that when reserve burn. I don't think they need to burn it, I'll be honest. What did someone say? They're cheap butts barely buy $1 million a week while emitting multiple X. You think they're actually going to burn it? Yeah, always someone's mad about something. Always someone's ticked off. Always. All right, I think that's our Chainlink news for today.